Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Answer is Yes podcast, where we will explore the cause and effect of just saying yes in your everyday life or in business. I will dig into topics that are not just stimulating, but will challenge you to be better in everything you do. The podcast is based on the simplicity of saying yes to opportunities you might encounter every single day. I'm your host, Jim Riley. Join me in my first series titled Blue Collar Redefined. Hello and welcome to the Answers Yes podcast. I'm happy to have you joining us today. I'm going to do something a little different today, and that is talking about my business and life hacks. And so what does that mean exactly? You know, I've had, as with our show last week, I had Jim Beaver on the show talking about podcasting and how to do a podcast. And by the way, if you're interested, feel free to reach out to me. You can catch me on my website, livelifedriven.com. Just send me an email. My cell phone number is on there as well. Reach out, send me a text. Love to help you through the process of podcasting. And, you know, the purpose of today's show is to just give you some of my own life hacks and things that I do that I believe have contributed to my success and how I've gotten through them. And then we have a special guest calling in to give a couple of his life hacks today, which I think you'll enjoy. And hopefully we can get him on the show for a full-length feature and hear all about his career. But today's going to be about my life hacks and how I got to where I'm at. And maybe that'll help you in your endeavors in business. And that's really what this show's all about, you know, creating the answer is yes, or creating your own yes, if you will. And once you've said yes to something, it's how do you follow through and achieve success within that answer. And so, you know, I think that by adding some value through my own life hacks and then some of my future guests, you know, we're going to talk about health and wellness and ways that we can be better as people in all aspects of our lives, so that when we do say yes to something, that we're there 100%. So, like I said, I'm going to walk through some of my hacks, and I think most relevant because I record this show in the morning, and that is the time of day that I work out. So I'll call health my first life hack, and what my nutrition and workout regimen looks like, and how I got to where I'm at. Now, something to understand about my own personal health and wellness is I've always been involved with some type of sport or physical activity all the way from probably the age of 13, working out in the garage with my older brother and doing, you know, basic calisthenics, you know, PE type stuff. But I wrestled through junior high and high school, and then a little bit out of high school at Fullerton College. And that transitioned into working out with weights for a very long time. One of my best friends, James Myrana, was a bodybuilder professional in the state of California who did quite well, and he had me in the gym a lot. So I've always had some foundation of health. Now, that's not to say that over the years, I'm 51 now, that I haven't been in states of unhealthiness or overweight, which some of us like to call it. I've gone back and forth, and I think that the times that I felt the best are obviously the times that I was the healthiest, and that means having a good workout regimen and a good diet. And I'm one of those people, and you can consider this life hack number one for me, I'm one of those people that I need to have something on the calendar that I'm striving to achieve. So back in the day when I started racing off-road cars, so let's just go back 13 years from now, when I really started becoming conscious again of my health. Now, remember, I was in the alcohol industry. I've been in the alcohol industry for almost 30 years. So consuming alcohol, being out a lot, you know, eating restaurant food on a regular basis has always been a part of my career because those are the circumstances I've been put under, right? And I'm not saying that you can't work in the alcohol business and not drink, but it is very, very challenging. So it's moderation, and that didn't always happen either. So going back about 12, 13 years ago, when I started thinking about my own health again, was really based on the fact that I was racing off-road and spending a lot of time in a race car. And I knew that if I was going to be more successful in the car, that I would have to be healthy for that. And working out seemed like something that would get me to where I needed to be. Now, I didn't watch my diet as much as I was more concerned about having some physical stamina. And the races themselves weren't enough to motivate me to get into the gym. So I picked up this habit of wanting to climb different mountains around the country. And this came from my brother. He was doing a group activity with In-N-Out managers. Many of you know that my brother is the COO of In-N-Out Burger, and he would do this outing up at Half Dome in Yosemite, and they would camp on the valley floor, and then they'd run up to the top of Half Dome and run back down. Now, that's a hell of a run up and down, and not everybody could run it, but they're very competitive. And I started doing that with him. I thought, man, this is a great physical activity that I could strive to do once in a while, put on my calendar, and then that'll force me to get into the gym. So we did that several times together. Then we climbed Mount Whitney together, which of course is the tallest mountain in the lower 48 states. I went on to climb Mount Whitney a couple times, as well as Mount Rainier, and just about any other mountain I could climb in Southern California. So for me, putting those mountain climbs on the calendar forced me to get in the gym and get healthy. That worked well for me for a lot of years. And then in the last few years, 3 now, I've been doing Spartan racing. And that, again, started with me wanting to be healthier for being in the race car, but also it became an activity that I'm doing with my spouse now, and we've become competitive Spartan racers. So what my workout looks like right now is I'm in the gym 6 days a week. Let's say I'm working out 6 days a week. I'm actually in the gym 3 of those days doing, weights and different stamina exercises and stability exercises to be better on the obstacle course. And then I'm finishing up those workouts with runs. And then I'm running the other 3 days of the week outside of the gym, whether that's locally here in Mount Baldy or what they call the Claremont Loop, which is a 5-mile mountain loop, or any other mountain around here that I can get my hands on to be in great physical shape. And finally, that I've added in the last 4 months because of my ACL tear is I've added swimming to my regimen. So now I'm on low impact swimming on top of running on top of the gym. But it does have me in peak performance to run my Spartan races. And if you followed along my career, I've had a lot of success. I've had 8 first place finishes, 4 seconds, and 6 third place finishes on the podium, including a race in Iceland where I ran 37 miles plus 180 obstacles in a 24-hour period. So I've really enjoyed the health portion of my life, but it has allowed me to be better in business because I'm waking up more alert, I'm focused, I'm making the best use of my calendar and my day, and I'm able to not only enjoy being physically fit and healthy, but also be there for my kids. I use a trainer. His name is Jordan Nichols. He's at HeartFit in Glendora. So if you're interested in learning more about my training or getting on that type of training program yourself, you can reach out to Jordan at HeartFit. He's the owner. They're small, 4 or 5 people per session, so it's semi-private. And I'm going on my 4th year there, so it's amazing how much time has gone by and my health and wellness. So please reach out to Jordan at HeartFit. Now, talking about diet and what's important to me, the only supplement I take is GQ6 hydration mix. And I was introduced to GQ6 by the owner, Richard Haraga, several years ago. It's probably been 5.5 years now. And literally that's been my only consistent supplement that I take, because hydration is so important for so many aspects of not only your training, but your overall health, your brain health, your physical health, stamina, endurance. Living here in Southern California, where it's predominantly warm through the summer, and the amount of time I was spending in the desert racing, hydration has been so important to me. And GQ6 is one of those products where it doesn't have a lot of fluff around. It's really basic about hydration. So if you're looking for something that's very flavorful and passes the test on the sugar test, that's not going to be GQ6. If you want a performance enhancer, GQ6 is your brand. You can find it online, gq6.com. It'll pop right up. You can order online, and it is just a wonderful product. That really is the only supplement I take. Now, once in a while, I will add some protein to my diet, depending on what my needs are. And I do have a partnership with True Nutrition where it's kind of a formulate your own proteins and our oatmeals and different things based on what your needs are, whether those are branched chain amino acids or MCTs or what you might be looking for. And that's what I love about True Nutrition is that you can build your own. They send it to you basically in bulk. You're buying it in bulk, and again, it's really the once in a while supplement for me because for the most part, I am focused on just having a healthy diet. By the way, if you do want to buy something from True Nutrition, you can use the code OCR Riley and get a discount on their product. But that, again, is just an added supplement when I need to bulk up on protein a little bit. I think a good diet is so important, but I don't obsess over it. So my little hacks are I eat a lot of turkey meat and make dishes out of turkey meat. I use avocado oil to cook with. If I don't have avocado oil, I'll use olive oil. And I just try to keep things pretty simple around the kitchen. A lot of fish. I do eat meats, so I'm not on any type of crazy vegetarian diet. But, keep it simple. I try to eat more often at home than out because there's so many fats and salts added when you're out. So there you go. There's my health regimen. Hopefully I didn't deliberate on that too much, but I do think health is such an important part of being a successful business person. My first business hack would be my good old trusty yellow pad of paper. And I've brought this up on my show a few times. And basically what I do is I've got a yellow pad of paper and I write my to-do list on it. And I work through that during the day and check things off the list. And then at the end of the day, I tear off that front page of paper and I rewrite it for the following day. And then I add to it what I need to do the next day. And for me, it gives me that satisfaction of actually checking something off of a list, seeing it in front of me, and knowing that I'm getting some things done. It also, I'm not as organized as I'd like to be with my emails and some of my to-dos. I'll talk later in the show about my calendar, which I'm getting better at. But the yellow list just provides a nice, good old-fashioned way to write something down and reminding myself of that. So that's my first little business hack. I'm going to take a break right here because we have an opportunity to speak with Pepe Hermosillo, who is the founder of Casa Tequila, and I know I've got to call him right now. So I'm going to record his business hacks, and then I'm going to jump back in to finish up the show. So hold tight, and I'll get Pepe on the line. Pepe, good morning. How are you today?
Oh, it's a good morning, Jim. It's great to talk to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Today on the podcast, I'm talking about business hacks are things that people like you and I do in business to make our days easier or continue to be successful in what we do. I'm wondering if you could take a second and explain maybe a couple of your business practices that have made you so successful.
No, thank you. I will try and share something that's interesting and productive. One of the things that I'm always about with myself and with my team is about learning. So what can you do every day to learn something new? So as I'm driving to the office or I'm going to tequila in the car, you have those moments, and there's some specific podcasts that I listen to. One is a Stanford one that's really, really great, but just trying to always learn something new. And it doesn't have to be a bright, the next revolutionary thing. If it's just something new that you can take advantage of. So I'm always trying to get into that learning mode, and I try and translate it to all the team where they're always trying to learn something. And and learning doesn't have to be, that's an example of the podcast, but even walking through the market, smelling something new, and registering that for our work. That's obviously a lot of sensory in the sense of quality of tequila and trying to improve your sensory. So that's one that I really try to practice. Learn something new every day.
I think that's incredible advice because we're surrounded by new things and opportunities that we can learn from and bring to the table. I know I cut you off guard. I've just one more question for you. As the founder of Casa that's been around for so very long in a very, very crowded market, how have you just maintained your success year after year? Because you guys really have done a phenomenal job with your brand, and I just would like to learn, what has been the secret to your success all these years?